HABD, and in collaboration and partnership with the City of Birmingham and Birmingham City Schools. Just want to thank each and every one of you for showing up this evening for what I think is a really important and critical announcement. And so I will not delay us at all. And please join me in welcoming Ms. Dontrell Young Foster, President and CEO of HABD.
Good afternoon, HABD residents. Again, my name is Dontrell Young Foster. I'm the President and CEO of the Housing Authority of the Birmingham District, and I am proud to be joined by our Honorable Mayor, Mayor Randall Woodfin, our Birmingham City School Superintendent, Dr. Mark Sullivan, and all other leaders and staff that are sharing with us today to share this important information. And I want to first just say thank you. Thank you for your presence today. You know, your presence means a lot because you're attending this initiative with us shares that you understand the challenge that we're having as we're getting our kids in school. In recent months, we've seen a growing challenge in the Birmingham City School where its children attendance has been declining. Not only the importance of our children being in school, but providing a foundation for our families. So we know that our children being in school is vital for their success and also for the overall development. But because of the importance of that, it's also important, again, that we have that foundation for the families in the households because that's where it starts. When you became a resident of the Housing Authority of Birmingham District, you agreed to ensure that any school-age child in your household attends schools on a daily basis. Now, we do understand the barriers and the challenges that we have each day that each child is not able to attend school every day. But that's why we're here before you, because our goal is to ensure that we be that backbone and support to you and your families to ensure that your kids are able to attend school each day. And while we know there'll be a number of those circumstances, we are here today to share a new initiative with you. And that initiative is Every Day Counts. You all look very lovely in your shirts today because every day counts. And I'm excited to share this initiative in partnership with the City of Birmingham and the Birmingham City Schools because we're geared in incentivizing HABD families to make sure school-age children are in school. Beginning today, through Every Day Counts, any HABD household whose school-age children receive a perfect attendance for the month will be entered into a random drawing, and this drawing will receive incentive for the following month. There is only one criteria for your child to have perfect attendance for a month. One criteria is for your child to have perfect attendance for 1 month. This is one of the many efforts that we're putting in place to address the challenge of truancy and school absences. As leaders, parents, and guardians, we recognize the problem. So if we ignore the problem, that means we are a part of the problem. So please embrace this initiative as an opportunity to build on the success of your children because your children is our future leaders. So I know you're eager to listen and hear about this initiative. So please allow me to welcome Larry Williams, HABD Chief of Housing and Policies and Programs to give us more information about this great initiative. Please help me welcome him to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Larry Williams, the Chief Housing and Program Officer for HABD. It is with great pleasure that we come to you with this amazing initiative. So here's how it works, right? Ms. Foster just explained that the only criteria is for your children or your child or children to have perfect attendance for 30 days. Once that happens, we connect with the school district, we verify that information, and we enter you into a drawing. And we actually are going to do a drawing today. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? So here's how this works, right? So HABD works with numerous partners around the community, and today's partner is Magic City Development Corporation, and they sponsored the incentive for today's raffle. Y'all ready? Now remember, the only criteria is what? Say it one more time for me. All right. So in the basket, I have a couple names because when we were checking to see who had perfect attendance, it was a couple of them, right? So we want to incentivize you to not only incentivize you, we're going to provide supportive services to you as well, right? So any barrier that's in place, if we can assist, we're going to do just that. All right? Now, y'all ready? All right. So the winner is, now remember the criteria is, all right. So the winner is Miss Juanice Johnson. Miss Johnson? Come on up. So again, today's sponsor of the incentive is Magic City Housing Corporation. And today, you ready what you win?
Yes.
She wins a total of $445 towards her household expenses.
Oh, God, thank you.
Now, next month, I hope to have multiple people in this basket so that we can do the drawing and make the incentive even higher. Give it up one more time for Miss Juanita Johnson. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. So as a reminder, there is one criteria to be entered into the raffle for Everyday Counts, and that criteria is what? With a P? Perfect attendance. Next up, please join me in welcoming BCS Superintendent Dr. Mark Sullivan.
So good afternoon. I have the honor of serving as your superintendent. Attendance is extremely important, but before I talk about that, I need to go ahead and do some housekeeping. I want to recognize my board members who are present. If you would please stand. I see Mrs. Boehm, board member, Mr. Sullivan, board member, Ms. Watkins, board member, and Mr. Meadows, board member. I think that is it. Ms. Williams, I'm sorry, Ms. Williams, board member in the back. When I was a student at Riggins Elementary School, I was extremely excited to walk into the doors of the school. I had that same excitement when I went to Woodlawn High School. And part of it was, I heard somebody from Woodlawn, and part of that is because of the excitement that happened when I walked through those doors and the opportunity for learning and the enthusiasm of those teachers. Far too many of our students do not have that opportunity because they are not attending school on a regular basis. Now, whereas the percentage of students who are chronically absent in Birmingham has decreased since 2021, it has decreased 20%. We still have, in our public housing areas, a large number of our students not attending school on a regular basis. When you look at the data is clear. When students attend school, they learn more. When students attend school, they're more likely to graduate. Did you know that the way the state calculates chronic absenteeism is if you miss 10% of the school year? Now let's talk about what that means. 10% of the school year, there are only 180 days, 10% of that is 18 days. It is the number of days that you are enrolled in school. For example, if I go to school for 1 month, that's 20 days. Do you know if you miss 2 days out of that entire month, you are considered chronically absent? Because that's 10% of that day. And that's whether you're sick or whether you're just at home watching Netflix. It's excused or unexcused. It is important that our students are in school every day. And that is why I'm proud to stand here in support of this program with the City of Birmingham. Mayor Woodfin, thank you for your leadership on this, as well as the Housing Authority of Birmingham District to address and reduce chronic absenteeism. Several of our schools have had success in reducing chronic absenteeism. A school like Carver High School in 2021 had 50% chronic absenteeism. Guess what that number is today? 9%. They went from 50% to 9%. Let me tell you what that means. When their chronic absenteeism rate went down, their graduation rate went up. When their chronic absenteeism rate went down, their test scores went up. They went from a D school to a C school, moving in the right direction. A school like Brown Elementary School. Brown had in 2021 a chronic absenteeism rate of 15%. Today, Brown has a chronic absenteeism rate of 5%. When students come to school, students learn. I am so proud to partner with the Housing Authority, so proud to partner with the City of Birmingham to really launch this initiative and show the importance of students attending school every single day, because what? Every day counts. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Mayor. Thank you, Donnell.
At this time, please join me in welcoming to the podium Mayor Randall Woodfin.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is really good to see all of you all in this room. Very impressive turnout. I didn't know this many young people would be here, so it's really good to see y'all as well. I want to start my comments off by giving my sincere appreciation, and just from the bottom of my heart, Dontrell Foster, to you, to your board, to your entire staff. Not just for putting this event on, but being creative, being innovative, and getting us to this idea of what we can do to really drive home the point of every day counts and making sure our children are in school. So everybody in this room, please give it up to Ms. Foster. I also want to thank the superintendent, Dr. Sullivan, your board, your staff, for really leaning in on this conversation as well about our children being in school. I mean, he said it. I just want to say it a different way. There are schools that unfortunately have Fs, and there are schools that unfortunately have Ds, but they're working hard. But the truth is, parents, 15% of that score, I'm talking to the parents now, it's based on just attendance. That F could easily be a D, and that D could easily be a C if kids just came to school. So I want to tell you a story to drive the point home. I'm not shy about it. I've talked about it often about how my parents both grew up in public housing. But I rarely go into the detail of what that looked like for my mother. My mother had a pretty transient childhood as well. She lived in 5 different places before she even finished high school. And 3 of those were public housing. She grew up in Southtown, and at a certain point, they moved to a SIPCO. And then they left a SIPCO and moved to Kingston Projects. And then at a certain point, they left Kingston Projects and moved to Avondale Projects. And then there were a few other places prior to finishing school. Now, you have to imagine, which I know for some of you all, you know what that looks like, moving from place to place and how that affects a child. And that type of impact can make a child be discouraged from wanting to finish school because they're going from school to school. And it's hard to maintain friendships. And I can go on what that does for a child. But somehow she found a way to block all the stuff out that was going on at home. And she poured all that energy into finishing high school. I share that point because I know in today's time, in 2024, that we have families who live in our public housing who deal with every issue under the sun, from abuse to domestic violence. They deal with issues of underemployment and not employed at all. They deal with family issues and their drug issues and their all of these issues. And it has an impact on what that family can do for their children. Like, we know that. And some of us have lived that, including my own mom. And so part of this is not just an incentive to motivate, but it's also an incentive to say 2 words. Thank you. Thank you for investing in your child. Thank you for believing in your child. Thank you for getting your child up in the morning, making sure they get to school, get to the bus stop, get to school on time, make sure they're in class. Because we know with all the issues that exist in our community, if we're going to change anything in the city of Birmingham, the biggest thing we can do, the best thing we can do, is educate our children. We cannot do that if they are not in school. And so again, to Ms. Foster, to you and your team, to Dr. Sullivan, to you and your team, to all the parents in this room for being here, thank you for the investment you make in your children. And by encouraging them and by you being encouraged to make sure you get them out of the house and get them to school, we want to reward you for that effort. And we want you to tell your neighbors next door, on the left and the right. We want you to tell your neighbors behind you and in front of you. We want you to tell your other family members and your first cousins, second cousins, third cousins, play cousins. We want y'all to tell everybody. Ms. Foster, the city of Birmingham wants to help you. Dr. Sullivan, we want to help you. Letters and backpacks to get to parents so all the parents can know. Direct mail, I'll knock on doors if you want me to. Leaf drops and doors if you want me to. Whatever we need to do, parents in this room, to communicate this, opportunity exists for all of our families in public housing at all 14 sites in our city. We, the Housing Authority, the school system, the city of Birmingham is only here to help. Turns out we believe in our children. We love our children, and we want our children to be successful. And as parents, we know you love your children. We know you want them to be successful. Let's all partner and continue to work together to encourage investments in them and their success. But let's start with the simple notion of just making sure they get to school, because every day counts. Thank you.
All right, so again, on behalf of the Housing Authority of the Birmingham District, the City of Birmingham, and Birmingham City Schools, I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. By a show of hands, who is a school-aged student? Who's in school? Okay. And then put your hands down by a show of hands. Who is a parent? Who has school-aged children in the home? Okay, this is going to be a collaborative effort. We need everybody to be at the table and to partner together to make this happen. So again, to Mayor Woodfin's point, Dr. Sullivan's point, and Ms. Foster's point, what do we say? Every day counts. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful evening. And again, we'll be visiting each community, each HABD public housing community. Make sure you tell your neighbors about this initiative so that you can be in the drawing next month and months to come, okay? Thank you so much.